Bully has quite a nice variety of minigames, some more difficult than others, and some more enjoyable than others. In this video, I'll be giving you a rundown of 10 removed minigames in Bully. This video was made possible thanks to P3TI. P3TI is one of the Bully MP developers. He's been very helpful with recovering and researching the 3 beta builds of Bully that I have. Make sure to head over to bullymp.com if you want to see his Bully multiplayer project for yourself. A link to that can be found down below. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get to it. Number 1. BMX Rumble. BMX Rumble, as the name of the minigame would suggest, is a minigame based around Jimmy fighting against other participants on bicycles. Interestingly enough, a script for this minigame still exists in the game files, even on Scholarship Edition, and you can actually force it to start via modding. Upon launching the minigame, you're given a camera view of Gurney the townie. This is BMX Rumble. Last man standing wins. Stay on your bike and knock out the other contenders. Now the script is obviously unfinished, and the minigame appears to take place in an area that ended up getting removed from the game, so you're kinda just stuck in this heaven or hell-like setting. After about 10 or 20 seconds, Jimmy falls through the nothingness and he dies. And then you respawn.
My head still hurts.
Vance, Lefty, Jerry, Norton, Clint, and Peanut are your competition, and it is up to you to remain on your bike as you knock out all of the other opponents. The Greasers and Townies would have attacked each other and Jimmy until the last man was standing, at which point the minigame would have ended. I haven't gotten the script to work just yet, but it appears as though you really would not have received any sort of prize for winning. Instead, the game would have simply declared Jimmy to be the winner, followed by a camera fade out, at which point the minigame would have ended. Number 2. Darts. Jimmy was initially supposed to be able to play darts in the Boy Storm common room. While there aren't many leftovers of this minigame other than some unused sound effects and snippets of code, there have been some interesting discoveries made. This is an unused prop by David Bayoun. David Bayoun, for those of you who don't know, provided work on some of the models and textures in Bully. SimonBestia, who some of you may know, and if you don't, please check out his channel, a link down below, managed to find this Game Informer article written by a Game Informer employee who got the chance to see Bully in its unfinished beta stage. In this article, they mention seeing Jimmy wake up in a messy room, take a leak in the Boy Storm bathroom, and then head down to the common room where students can be seen buying soda, watching a fully operational television, and even playing darts. It is possible that the darts minigame ended up being replaced by the future Street Racer arcade race minigame.
Yeah, maybe. Tell you something, Pete. This place blows. Tell me about it.
Number 3. Grottos and Gremlins. Not a whole lot is known about Grottos and Gremlins other than it obviously being based on Dungeons and Dragons, so I guess I'll just let the characters in Bully describe it for you.
Hey Jimmy, did you ever play Grottos and Gremlins? It's really keen. You can totally be a cool hero who kicks ass and stuff.
It's a pretty cool game. It's all about killing things and taking their stuff.
What was it called? Grottos and Gremlins?
Yeah.
No! You can't use diplomacy to make the elf princess do that!
Of course I can. So, then I roll a natural 20 and kill the dragon in one blow with my Vorpal.
Vorpal Blade?
Yeah, better crits than any other enchantment.
Perhaps you could come over to the observatory and play a game or two of Grottos and Gremlins with us sometime.
No.
Grottos and Gremlins was supposed to be a strategic turn-based board game which Jimmy could have played with some of the nerds at either Dragon's Wing or at the observatory. Jimmy would have competed against the other players by rolling a pair of dice to see which options he had for movement and attacks. It is also possible that the TNG collectible cards would have played a role in this minigame. Number 4. Lunar Lander. Lunar Lander, interestingly enough, is actually a computer game developed in 1973 for the DEC G40 computer. The game was also available on the 1979 Atari. This minigame, based on the name, would have been a bully-esque clone of either the Astro Lander minigame in Time Splitters 2 or Lunar Lander on the Atari. The player would have had to navigate a spaceship and carefully land it on intended destinations. It is also possible that Rockstar had to remove this from the game because of the possible copyright issues that could have ensued had they kept it in Bully. Number 5. Missile Command. Here's another arcade game from almost 40 years ago. The player would have had to intercept incoming missiles by using a crosshair to fire a counter missile, at least based on the real-life counterpart. And just like with Lunar Lander, it is possible that this minigame had to be removed because of how similar it would have been to its real-life counterpart. Number 6. Nuclear Rain. This appears to have been an arcade game set in a nuclear fallout. No leftovers of audio, code, or even coordinates exist of it in the game files. Number 7. Desert Fighter. This arcade minigame would have most likely been heavily based on the ASP Airstrike Patrol shoot-'em-up game on the Super NES back in 1994. Or 1995 if you're talking about the US. I don't know how similar this would have been to its real-life counterpart, but if Rockstar actually wanted to make something identical almost to the real-life Desert Fighter game, then it would have involved Jimmy managing resources, while also focusing on flying a military aircraft to take out enemies on a desert map. Number 8. Smash TV Thing. Smash TV Thing, as the name would suggest, or as much as it can actually suggest at all, was intended to be an arcade minigame wherein Jimmy had to smash TVs. Nothing else is really known about this minigame, so I guess I'll just leave it up to you guys in the comments to speculate on what this minigame would have been like. I'm just looking at the name and I'm like, oh yeah, Smash TV Thing. Got it. Man, I know exactly what this is. Number 9. Demo. Now this arcade minigame, as some of you might have guessed, is actually a demo placeholder arcade minigame, meaning that it's simply in the game files for testing purposes, or to be a placeholder, whichever. Despite being a placeholder or a simple test, the minigame still exists in the game files and can be enabled via modding. Starting this minigame will teleport Jimmy to the English classroom for whatever reason, and then initiate this repulsive mess of red and blue stuff. Squirrels and squares. 'Cause why not? Using the left analog stick, you can actually look left, right, up, and even down. And the right analog stick allows you to stretch the game's screen to your liking. Pretty amazing stuff, eh, audience? Number 10. Multiplayer Lawn Mowing. And finally, we have the multiplayer lawn mowing. This is something that Rockstar had planned to feature as a competitive 2-player minigame in Scholarship Edition. Both Jimmy and Gary would have spawned in one of the several lawn mowing locations in the game, each with their own lawnmower. The 2 players would have then had to compete in seeing who can mow the most grass before the timer runs out. Destroying flowers and other decorations would have of course subtracted points. The player who mowed the most grass or completed lawn mowing the quickest would have been declared a winner. I actually managed to find the mission script for this minigame in one of my beta bully builds. Starting this minigame on the PC version results in Jimmy and Gary spawning somewhere on the map. Where, I do not know, but it kind of reminds me of hell, so I like that. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about Bully's unused beta assets, then I'd recommend checking out my video, Bully 10 Removed Features. A link to that can be found down below and on the screen. Anyway, that's it for this video. You folks, as always, stay classy. Peace.